Hello again, everybody. It's me. I am me, and I'm here to yell about old Doctor Who from 40 years ago, and I'm joined by my usual partner in crime.
Yes, it's me again, it's Rainiac. He dragged me along for the ride yet again.
It's always fun with me. And we watched The Curse of Peladon.
Oh boy.
Okay, so for the uninitiated, The Curse of Peladon is a 1972 serial starring Jon Pertwee as the Doctor, with Jo Grant as companion. I don't have the About Time volume that covers Jon Pertwee. I'm going to buy all those goddamn books someday because I love reading them. But I do have a little quickie from Phil Sanford, TARDIS Eruditorium. He says, "Oh, this is fun. I mean, this is just fun. Great visual design, ideas the series has never tried before, a quasi-medieval planet, some great performances. This is just a big, sloppy bit of fun that takes Colony in Space's approach, tightens it to 4 episodes, and goes just a little trippier. Let it never be said the Pertwee era can't work. 9 out of 10.
Some great designs, bar one or two.
Well, yeah, we
we'll
laughed a little. Alright, well, let's start with the main thing. The Doctor. This was your first glimpse of Jon Pertwee as the Doctor. I have really warmed up to him as I've been going through old Doctor Who. But what did you think?
Well, this, as you say, is my first ever exposure to Jon Pertwee as the Doctor, apart from a couple of clips of the Three Doctors, where he's referred to as a clown, or is he the dandy? I can't remember.
He's either a dandy or a clown.
Alright, well, he's referred to as either a dandy or a clown, so this is my first exposure to a full episode with him, and I have to say I was kind of impressed. I know Jon Pertwee from other things, for example, Wurzel Gummidge. He was a children's scarecrow in that. But I didn't know what to expect from Pertwee, and I came off, as I say, with rather good feeling about him. It's kind of hard to explain, really. He's kind of part got paternal instincts towards Jo, and part hasn't.
Sort of, yeah. He was definitely pretty paternal towards Jo, maybe a little towards Sarah Jane and his final.
Well, I can't talk about his relationship with Sarah Jane yet because I haven't got that far. But just based on this one story, which I suppose for the fairness of the review I should do it. Yeah, I was impressed, and also he was not afraid to not back down from challenges.
Oh well, Jon Pertwee's Doctor was always very physical, and that scene here, he gets a good little.
You've got that right.
He gets a good little fight scene in this serial in a gladiatorial arena. No Venusian Aikido though. He doesn't chop people on the back of the neck and yell "Hi!"
Is that in the Pertwee era or?
Oh yeah, that is he does all sorts of judo choppy bullshit, and he's got like secret agent vehicles and flies in helicopters and drives in this big old motor car and other cool crazy shit.
Venusian Aikido. That's got to be the greatest name for a martial art ever.
Beautiful. It's great. Yeah, the Pertwee era usually stuck him on Earth because that was a thing that they did in the early days.
It's right up there. It's right up there. Venusian Aikido in the name department with Deja Vu from the Discworld series.
Oh my god, Jesus!
What? It's relevant.
It is relevant, I guess. Yeah, he was mostly Earthbound for the first couple of years of his tenure, and then in the last few he did go to other planets. This is only like the second time in the Pertwee era he's ever actively gone to another planet.
Only the second time?
Yeah, the second time.
Second and last time, or would he go to other planets after this?
No, he did it a lot after the Three Doctors is when he started going to other planets.
I know the reason why he was mainly stuck on Earth for the first part of his run is the Time Lords, isn't it?
Yeah, the spoiler time, history alert. At the end of Patrick Troughton's era, the Time Lords were like, "You're a meddler, but you've got good intentions, so instead of killing you outright, we're just going to force you into a regeneration, and you're going to be stuck on Earth until you learn to behave."
The irony of that sentence, "You're a meddler, so says the Time Lords."
Yeah, it's weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was basically stuck on Earth he worked with Unit and Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, and he fought off aliens in London and bullshit like that.
Yeah, but the point is, from the 80 minutes that also I've got to experience of the Pertwee Doctor, I like what I saw, and I'd love to see more of it.
Oh, well, we can arrange that. What did you think of Jo Grant?
Well, it's not my first exposure to Jo Grant, technically, because I saw the, is it called The Death of the Doctor? Sarah Jane Adventures? Yeah, The Death of the Doctor. But she was older in that, of course.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because you mentioned Sarah Jane. Didn't Sarah Jane replace Jo?
Yes.
Directly replace her?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a nice bit of continuity in there. But the younger Jo, as in this episode, I kind of like. As I said to you while we were watching it through the magic of Skype, she had spunk.
Oh, yes.
She wasn't afraid to talk to, I suppose I can mention King Peladon, despite the fact he's royalty of this little planet that they're on.
Yeah.
She's not afraid to talk to other characters that we'll touch on later on, who really you shouldn't be talking to if you value your life.
Exactly.
Much less shouting in their face that they need to go and help the Doctor, but...
Jo Grant is my favourite of the Pertwee era companions, I think. I mean, Liz Shaw was fantastic, but she's only in 4 stories, so she's kind of, there and gone, flash in the pan.
Yeah.
And Sarah Jane, she's the same thing. She only really gets 1 Pertwee season, and I don't really like any of the stories from that season.
No, she's a Tom Baker companion through and through.
She's much better with Tom Baker, I must say. And the stories with Tom Baker are much better, too. So she's really more of a Tom Baker companion,
Yeah, no, I understand.
Jo Grant is great. She was around for 3 seasons, and they're all really good.
Because you've linked me a footage of how she got started on the show, haven't you? Where he thinks she's snuck into his rooms in unit.
Oh, yes.
He's doing an experiment.
Yep.
It's like, actually, Doctor, this is your new assistant. He's like, oh no, this will never do.
Yeah, but they get along at the point.
Yeah, I wasn't sensing that friction between them in this episode.
No.
Serial, goddammit.
Episode serial.
I'm sorry, I'm so used to the format of the new series.
Well, then again, this is a season later, so they've had a whole bunch of adventures together, so. So, well, what else should we talk about with The Curse of Peladon? Let's hear some things you liked about it.
Well, I think you know what I'm going to mention, don't you?
Oh, the big thing, huh?
My favourite characters in the thing other than the Doctor and Jo Grant.
Okay, go for it.
The Ice Warriors return.
Surprise! That's why I picked this episode for him, because it has the Ice Warriors in it, and it has an even crazier little twist with the Ice Warriors that, fuck it, it's 40 years old, I think we'll mention, but if you care about this and you want to watch The Curse of Peladon and know it's got Ice Warriors and gladiator battles and other really cool shit on a quasi-medieval planet, go watch The Curse of Peladon. But if you just want to hear us talk about it, well, we will proceed right about now. Okay.
Okay, so the Ice Warriors show up in the middle of episode 1.
Yeah, that's about right.
And you think, oh no, they're the big evil enemy of this episode, despite the fact it's called The Curse of Peladon. And I thought that, and I had no idea the Ice Warriors were in it, so I was basically blowing up Skype, wasn't I?
Oh yeah, you were like, oh shit.
I was like, oh shit, knockout moment.
For context, the Ice Warriors showed up twice before in the Patrick Troughton era, and they were in both appearances, they were unambiguously evil, scary monsters from Mars. They hissed a lot and zapped people with the ray guns and wanted to take over Earth, that sort of shit.
Yeah, they were kind of similar to how Skoldak was portrayed, not betrayed, portrayed in Cold War.
Yes.
They were definitely the villains. However, here, and here's the twist he was talking about, they're actually not the villains. You're meant to think they are.
Oh, you do kind of think they are, yeah. And even the Doctor thinks they are because, he's entangled them twice before, so he's like, they're Ice Warriors, they're evil, Joe. You watch your back.
Wait, I don't think he actually said to Jo that they were evil. He just said they are ferocious warriors and you need to steer clear of them.
Yeah, something like that. He didn't really say they were evil, but
despite the fact that the Doctor has faced them before, they didn't seem to recognise him.
Kind of.
And so, to everyone's shock, they actually turn out to be, if not good, certainly not evil.
They're just sort of there for their own benefits.
They're not the enemy.
No.
Like I said right now, they are not an enemy of this episode.
Nope. They do even help out.
So yeah, now that you've lifted the spoiler curtain, I can say this without fear of ruining it for people. The Doctor actually saves one of them, and he feels honour-bound and duty-bound to try and protect the Doctor when he himself comes under fire.
Well, that's great. It's good. I mean, you think the Ice Warriors are going to be bad, but they're not. So, surprise.
I mean, even Skelbeck had a sense of honour, didn't he?
Sort of, yeah.
So
they were kind of on her back.
It's not entirely an alien concept, but no, I kind of liked it, and it kept you guessing. Right until the end, I was thinking, right, the Ice Warriors are going to betray the Doctor now. The Ice Warriors are going to betray the Doctor now. And it never actually happened.
Yeah. He didn't trust them, and the viewer didn't trust him either, so...
Shows what I know, it says me right.
Surprise! And, yeah, well, Phil Zandifer does go on a whole tangent here about how this proves that monsters can be redeemed in Doctor Who. Which is a lovely concept. I mean, you'd never really see a Dalek go good, but, I mean, it does echo in the later series. I mean, you've got Strax.
You never see a Dalek go good. I don't know if it counts as going good, but redemption, Dalek.
Okay, there's that, yeah. And
absolutely.
Like I said, and hell, look, half the, 2/3 of the Paternoster gang are former monsters from the show that are good, you know? You've got good examples of them.
Yeah. But the Paternoster gang are quite polarised, so let's get back to Peladon. Why don't you talk a little bit about Peladon himself?
The king?
The king.
He's okay, I guess. He's sort of just... Well, the plot of the episode is that they were trying to join this Galactic Federation. His planet wants to join it, but his high priest doesn't really want it. And the king's sort of insistent. He's nice, but he's also sort of bound by tradition and law. His hands are tied for most of it.
He's kind of weak in that regard.
So he's doing what he can.
Yeah, but he's kind of weak in that regard.
But he is an okay character. Also, incidentally, played by Patrick Troughton's son. Hey.
Yeah, I'm glad you were about to bring that up.
It's great. And then there are the members of the Galactic Federation who show up for the conference on Peladon, and they're interesting.
Oh, that's something else.
Yes. Doctor Who in the early 70s, well, didn't have, millions and billions of dollars to make elaborate, cool costumes or CG technology, so they're kind of weird. I mean, you've got the Doctor and Jo, who are pretending to be the delegates from Earth, the Ice Warriors, as we mentioned, delegates from Mars, and then you have Alpha Centauri.
Oh, God.
Who is, and I'm not making this up, a green worm thing in a yellow cape who is a hermaphrodite and has a very high squeaky voice.
And one eyeball.
It sort of looks phallic if you're dirty-minded.
Sort of.
I'm being generous here. And then you have Delegate Arcturus, who is a green skull in a jar who yells like a Dalek on helium.
He really did sound like a Dalek.
He really did. And he turned out to be the bad guy.
I was going to say, no surprise, the guy that sounds like a Dalek has a weapon a bit like a Dalek, and he has this sort of gun that pops out of his metallic casing. Turns out to be as evil as a Dalek.
Oh, boy. Well, not really evil. It's more greed that's motivating him as opposed to Daleks kill everybody. He's just a greedy bastard.
Yeah. Arcturus is also the subject of one of the best sort of fake-out cliffhanger endings that I've seen so far in Whole Doctor Who.
That's a great one. The end
of episode 3, the Doctor has just won his challenge. We'll go into that a bit later on, but it's just won his challenge, and then Arcturus out of nowhere aims his gun, and then you see the gun go red, so you think, oh, Arcturus just shot somebody. Cut to episode 4, and Arcturus explodes.
And you're just like, wait, what happened?
And if you wind it back, it turns out the gun you saw go off was in fact the Ice Warrior.
Who shot Arcturus before he could shoot.
It's a very clever fake-out, because you never think, he's aiming the gun, that must be his gun.
Yeah.
Despite the fact you clearly go back, and it's a green hand holding onto the weapon.
Doctor Who does trick you sometimes with cliffhangers like that, fake you out with the expectations. Sometimes it works, and other times it doesn't.
Resolution to the beginning of Journey's End.
Christ. Dragonfire episode 1.
Oh, God.
I
don't know what that is because of the name of the Doctor.
Yeah, name of the Doctor, yes. That's what they chose to represent.
So, that's the coin representation. Not Remembrance of the Daleks.
No, that's a fucking great cliffhanger, though. That's a good one.
What? You mean the mind
Dalek
blower
rising
going
up
up the stairs?
Dalek rising up the stairs and yelling, "You're the Dalek."
That's an amazing cliffhanger, an amazing episode in general.
We're getting out of track here. Now we're talking about the Sylvester McCoy era for some
which we've already done, but yes. Go back and watch that if you haven't already, but yes. Yeah, Alpha Centauri and Arcturus, not the best of characters.
They're silly, but 70s Who, I can forgive them for that.
Arcturus has his moments. I quite like the fact that he sets up an attack on himself.
It's cool.
To try and discredit both the Doctor and the Ice Warriors, because it's the Doctor that's found standing over him trying to save him, and also the unit that is pulled out is found in the Ice Warriors' room by Joe.
Ooh.
And so they put two and two together and come up with 5 because it's the wrong answer.
Oh, God alive. So, other characters. The only other real characters to note are the High Priest of Peladon, Hepesh, and his hired goon, his champion, Grum.
Is it Grum or Grun?
Grum, I don't remember what it is, but
he's not really much of a character because he's monosyllabic.
He just grunts a lot.
He's like, it's like the predecessor to Chewbacca.
Yeah. So the High Priest, he doesn't want anybody. He doesn't want Peladon to join the Union because he's a superstitious old guy who believes in the occult and the Beast of Agador and whatever. So he arranges all of this disaster to happen so that all the delegates will be scared away and not vote on anything. That's the plot or something.
Yeah. When you just express it like that, it kind of sounds like a weak plot, but it's not a bad episode.
No, it's actually quite good. I mean, it's 4 parts, goes along at a nice pace, a lot of neat twists and turns. It's good.
I think the biggest problem are the villains in the episode.
Yeah.
We touched on Arcturus, though, as I say, he has his moments, like him exploding out of nowhere. But Hepesh, he gets the most screen time out of all the new characters introduced.
And really just to say, I don't believe in this, I don't like
he doesn't do much with his appearance, really. It's just like, we need to remember the old ways and stick to the old ways, and Agador is God, and that's it.
We should talk about Agador briefly.
Oh, Agador's great.
Agador is the god that Hepesh worships, and it turns out that Agador actually exists, and he's sort of a bear-pig thing lurking around under the castle. And he's a big bear thing.
A bear-pig thing?
I don't know what the hell
I suppose that's it. It's certainly not the monster that Hepesh makes everyone believe it to be.
Nah, well...
They're like, it's like the spirits of Agador, and it's killing everybody, and we must follow its whims. And no, it's not like that at all.
No. Actually, I don't even know if Hepesh can control the thing properly. Well, I suppose
he definitely can't.
Well, he can't after the Doctor does a little mesmerization of it.
What was going on with that, by the way?
I don't know. He just spins a little mirror on a stick and sings Tura Lura Lura.
It's like he's hypnotising it or calming it down. One of the two.
A little of both.
Anyway, once he's done it the second time, because the first time he actually is prevented from doing it, Agador becomes almost tame.
Yeah.
Although there is a great little scene.
They're actually just like petting him on the head at the end of the serial, and it's like, come on, take that bugger in the TARDIS. Who doesn't
at the end of the serial, he's kind of like the Peladon's pet. He's just running about the palace.
Beautiful. Oh my god.
You still want a proper pet companion, don't you, that isn't K9?
I don't really say I would want that.
The problem is, I think it would get old really quick.
Probably.
But Agador is still quite a good character. He's better than Hepesh. He's certainly better than Dancing Olive.
Dancing Olive? Jeez.
That's what it reminded me of. A Dancing Olive in a cape. It's better than the alternative, that's for sure.
So I think that's really all I need to say about Curse of Peladon, unless you had anything else to mention.
Just the fact the fight scene's kind of good, yet kind of suffers from shaky cam.
Well, yeah. It's standard as far as a Jon Pertwee action scene goes.
I like the way it ends. It ends with the Doctor on top, but he refuses to kill Grum.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, man who never would and all.
My ass.
My ass, yeah. We can just prove that easily just by looking at, like, 5 classic episodes.
Man Who Never Would. Oh, there goes the Daleks.
Man Who Never Would. Oop, Jon Pertwee just shot an Ogron.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, that is ridiculous.
Hell, oh my god, that is in the previous story. He just shoots a monster with a gun and vaporizes it.
That sounds amazing.
It does.
That sounds amazing. But I think we've basically touched all we can do on Peladon. It's a pretty good story. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it was not a bad introduction to Pertwee for me.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty good Pertwee story. I like it a lot. It's
so does that car in the background, apparently.
Oh yeah, of course.
Honk if you love Jon Pertwee.
Yeah, there are a lot of great Pertwee episodes, and this is one of the greats. It's not one of the best. That would probably be something like The Three Doctors or Carnival of Monsters. But
ooh.
Those are good.
Yeah.
It's good.
From what I've heard, they're good. But for what it's worth, Peladon is enjoyable. Go track it down.
Yeah, even though we've spoiled the entirety of it, but whatever. You'll still have fun with it.
Track it down again.
Yeah, track it down again. So, I don't know what we're going to talk about next time. We'll decide. You got any doctors you want to try?
I've nearly done the whole set, haven't I?
Yep. Well, there's only 2 left.
Oh.
So you either get to go with Captain Grumpy or Mr. Fashion Sense.
I know what's coming next.
Why don't we get it over with?
Okay, Colin Baker.
Alright, next time, a Colin Baker. Which one it'll be, I don't know. Probably one of the 3 good ones. Until
all
then.
the 3, I can't wait. Oh, boy.
Until then.
Bye for now.